The most basic rule in economics is the law of demand. As prices increase, consumers buy less. Higher prices mean fewer sales. But sometimes this seemingly foolproof logic completely fails to predict what actual humans will do in the real world. Imagine you're a farmer. University researchers announce a massive agricultural breakthrough, a new hybrid wheat that boosts crop yields by 20% per acre. You plant it, your neighbors plant it, the harvest is massive. But instead of getting rich from all that extra product, the sudden abundance bankrupts the farming community. This is the farming paradox. In certain markets, increasing production efficiency mathematically destroys the producers themselves. We see the same baffling failure in public policy. When governments spend billions seizing illegal drugs at the border, the goal is to reduce drug use. Instead, the resulting street shortage causes urban crime rates to spike. Or look at the energy sector in the 1970s. The OPEC cartel restricted the global oil supply. Prices skyrocketed, and the member nations generated massive, immediate profits. A decade later, they tried the exact same strategy. But this time, prices plummeted, and OPEC completely lost its grip on the market. Why did restricting a supply or improving a farming technology create the exact opposite of the intended effect? Knowing a consumer will buy less when prices rise isn't enough. To survive a market shock, you have to calculate the exact numerical magnitude of their retreat. Economists measure that retreat using price elasticity of demand. It's a formula that takes the percentage change in the quantity demanded and divides it by the percentage change in the price. This steep graph shows inelastic demand, shaped like an eye. Consumers are trapped. Even if price spikes, the quantity bought barely drops. Flatten that line horizontally and we get elastic demand. Now, a tiny price increase causes buyers to abandon the product. The physical shape of this mathematical curve is driven entirely by human psychology and daily choices. Elasticity operates as a direct, quantifiable measurement of human desperation, and it relies on three variables. The first variable is the difference between a strict necessity and an optional luxury. If the cost of a doctor's visit goes up, you still go. If the cost of a cruise goes up, you stay home. The second is the availability of close substitutes. If the price of butter rises, you can easily swap it for cheaper margarine at the store. The third is the time horizon. When a short-term shock hits, like the 1970s gas shortages, people panic. They still have to commute to work today, so they pay whatever it costs. Their demand is inelastic. Give those same people an extended time horizon, and they permanently adapt their lifestyles. They move closer to the office, or they trade in their heavy vehicles for fuel-efficient compact cars, rendering their demand highly elastic. Consumer power is entirely dictated by the availability of alternatives, the necessity of survival, and the time granted to react. The highlighted box under this curve is total revenue, price multiplied by quantity. Watch the farmers. Food demand is inelastic. When new hybrid wheat floods the market, prices plummet. Since human appetite doesn't increase to match this new supply, their overall revenue box shrinks. The drug paradox follows the same rule. Addiction forces total inelasticity. When government seizures restrict the supply, street prices soar. Addicts buy the exact same quantity regardless of cost, so the total money they need expands. To get that cash, they commit more street crimes. The alternative strategy is to reduce the demand curve itself through education rather than choking the supply. When the desire for drugs drops, both the quantity consumed and the price fall, shrinking cartel revenue and reducing crime. And OPEC? Their first supply cut worked because short-term demand was inelastic. But by the 1980s, the world had bought efficient cars and found new oil sources. Oil became highly elastic. When OPEC tried to restrict supply again, buyers simply walked away, wiping out the cartel's leverage. Manipulating a market's supply without accurately calculating the elasticity of its consumers guarantees self-sabotage. This scales directly from global macroeconomic crises down to the daily choices made by modern executives and legislators. Every time a software company hikes its subscription fee or a city council levies a new municipal tax, they are placing a blind bet on consumer elasticity. If they misjudge their target demographic, assuming customers are trapped when they actually have alternatives, those profitable intentions turn into mathematical ruin. Elasticity is the hidden metric of the economy. It is the exact measurement of human behavioral flexibility that decides the survival of both businesses and governments.